Here I gathered all the ingredients. I have 1 cup of sake. You guys can also use rice wine if you don't have sake, and also 1 cup of Japanese soy sauce, and 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 cups of water, and about 1/3 cup of chopped onions, about 5 cloves of garlic, 1 knob of ginger, and this is my onions from my garden, so I'm using it as well. You might not be able to find pork belly at your local grocery stores or meat deli, but make sure you ask the butchers and see if they have them stored in the freezer. Usually they do, so don't be shy, just ask them nicely. And if they're very nice, they usually cut and clean the rind and skin for you. But I personally love to have the skin on my pork belly because the skin actually keep the meat moisture inside, in my opinion, so I love that. But Costco, here I got mine at Costco, they removed everything for me. The size not perfect, not ideal, but I'm gonna use it anyway. Right here I just roll them. Now I found this in my freezer, so I defrost it and then I'm just gonna roll it. So this one has some skin because I got this particular one from Korean grocery store. That's why it's really nice and wide. It's gonna be very easy when I roll and tie this particular piece here. I'm so glad I found it in my freezer. So make sure you defrost this first if you happen to have frozen pork belly in your freezer. And then here I am just gonna tie it. So chashu usually served on ramen is often rolled up, although many ramen shops do serve slice of non-rolled chashu. So both ways are fine. You can use it roll or not rolling. It's all up to you. I just happen to have this yarn, so I'm just gonna use it anyway. It's probably a lot easier to not roll this, and it's gonna take less time. During this time, you don't want to cook anything more than 2 hours in your kitchen. It's so hot in California. Yes, so I am tidying this up like this. By the way, if you guys can't really find pork belly, you can also use pork shoulder, or sometimes you can use pork loin. Just to let you know though, the last 2 choices don't give you that melt in your mouth texture, as they don't have enough fat compared to pork belly. Okay, but you guys can try to use those 2 choices as well. So I'm just gonna keep on tidying all of my pork belly. You can also skip this part and just cook it just as it is, because it's actually going to be a lot easier to cook and take less time to cook. Here I'm done. I'm just gonna dry all of my meat with paper towel because we are going to sear these guys. So we don't want any water because we don't want the oil to splash all over our stove, right? So here they are all dry and clean. So now I am going to heat the oil in a cast iron skillet. You can also use regular frying pan. Just put it over high heat like this. And after that, after the oil is getting a little hot, you can add the rolled pork belly in the pan. So it's getting hot. I'm just gonna put my first piece in there, and my second piece, third piece, my fourth, and I have one more left. So I'm gonna try to fit the last one in later. Okay, once I cook some of this. Here, you want to sear the pork belly one side at a time, rotating to make sure all sides are nicely seared, every, 5 minutes or so. It took me about 15 minutes altogether to get a nice and brown pork belly. Yeah, so it's going to take a while. So during this time, you can start, cleaning up. Just leave it like this. Now see, I just put my last piece in. You can start cleaning up or prepare other things, but make sure you are around and not accidentally burn your pork bellies, okay? So all right, they look done to me. So I am going to turn the heat off, turn off my fan, and transfer my pot in here instead. I'm gonna move this one on the side. Here is my big pot because I want to make sure that I can fit everything in. I just put in my soy sauce, right? And my rice wine, and some ginger, some garlic, and here's all my onions and green onions. I just put everything in like that. And here my 3/4 cup of sugar. You guys can use half cup, it's up to you. And 2.5 cups of water. There. Now my sauce is done. I'm going to transfer all the meat in. So here I'm just adding all of my pork belly in my sauce. Just try to fit them all in. I am not using my Instant Pot today. I wish I was able to use my Instant Pot because it's gonna take me a lot faster. But because I have a lot of pork belly rolls, so I needed a bigger pot. So I'm using this. Now I'm just gonna wait, and I'm gonna bring the liquid to boil. See, now it's boiling. Now you are going to turn the heat to low and cover it up and just cook for, I am going to cook this about 2 hours. Okay, you want to make sure that you just shake on the chashu pork every 30 minutes, just rotating and make sure all the sides get the sauce and the heat. After 2 hours, you can turn off the heat and let the pork cool down. Once They are cool. You can transfer them in a plastic bag and put it in the refrigerator overnight. Okay, you want to rest them overnight in order for you to cut them into small pieces. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to make ramen eggs. First, you want to use a small needle or nail that you can find around your house. I'm just going to make them into a tiny little hole like this. So this way, the water can actually go underneath the shell and make it a lot easier to peel. It's really difficult to peel soft boiled eggs. That's why I'm doing this. Still, sometimes it's still very difficult for me. So here, after I poked all of the holes, and then I'm just going to bring water to a boil, just in a medium saucepan, enough water to cover all of my eggs. And after I put them, I'm gonna put one in at a time. Use a strainer like this because water is really hot now, so this is a lot easier. So we can just dump all the eggs in there, and then you now can set the timer for 7 minutes. Okay, the 7 minutes will give you a nice runny egg yolks inside. If you don't like that, skip this part. You can just use whatever toppings you like. You can use seaweeds, you can use your favorite vegetables, you can even use fried egg noodles. After 7 minutes, eggs are done. I am going to put cold water to stop the eggs from cooking because I want to get a nice runny soft boiled egg for my ramen noodles. Here, I'm just gonna add a little bit of ice to keep them cool. You can also put these eggs in the refrigerator because once they cool, it's a lot easier to peel the shell off. Alright, I'm done with all my toppings. I'll see you guys this Saturday. Okay, bye bye. See you in class.